Okay, so before we start, I just wanted to show this is what it's gonna look like. I try to replicate the Google main page. So I think I did a good job, but I don't know, like it's not perfect. So yeah, so we're going into the video right now. Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're gonna be making the second video of the coding challenge series. And I decided that today I'm going to be making a Google replica. So this is gonna be a purely UI like coding challenge. I'm gonna just be trying to make a replica of the main Google website, like the main page, and I'm not gonna be adding any functionality. Maybe I can do this for another coding challenge because I think it would be interesting to see as well, but I'm gonna just be trying to replicate everything in the screen. So I'm gonna be doing this in React, and our time will start right now. So, okay. First of all, I have this empty React app, and I want to add this navbar. It's kind of like a navbar, but not really. I'm going to, wait, I opened Photoshop. Okay, here. I'm going to create a folder called components and a folder called layout. Actually, maybe I'll just need the layout component, right? Let me see. Maybe. Okay. I'm going to erase the, the components folder, and let's just work with the layout for now. Okay, let's create a header file, so header.js, and CSS for the header, header.css. And on the header file, I'm going to create a functional component, and inside of here, a div with the class name of header. Okay, let's see what we're gonna do. I'm gonna call the header here, header, and let's work with the header. So I'm gonna be adding, it's gonna be like totally transparent, but right at the end, there's gonna be the Gmail link, the images link, this thing right here, which I don't have the icon for, but I'll just add like a square to represent it, and then a circle with your Google image, like your profile picture. So, okay, let's open this with some parentheses, and let me see here. Okay, inside of the header, I'm gonna put a link. So a Gmail, Gmail. Wait, why is it not working? I'm not being able to press the M keyboard for some reason. That's weird. I'm just gonna inspect element and copy it. I think my keyboard might be broken. Let me see. I just want the M. Added as attribute. Okay, I'm just gonna copy this M, and here. This is weird. I'm gonna try to look into it. Okay, we have another link called images, and we have a square. So I'm just gonna make a div called, let me see, ID square, and we have the profile pic. So div, and the ID is going to be the profile pic container. Okay, let's see how it looks for now. As you can see, we have two links and nothing in it. Let me just give it an href. So /Gmail. This won't work, but it's okay for now. Okay, so Gmail, and let me change this, and this is going to be the images, right? Images. Images. And the href is going to be the same. Okay. Okay, let's look how it looks. Okay, and it's not looking good for now because we're still making changes. I'm gonna be working on the header now. So let's make it a width of 100% and a height of like, I don't know, 60 pixels. Let's for now add a background color so we can like take a look at what we're looking at. So as you can see anything because probably the header div is not fully inserted. Actually it is, but okay, let's see. Oh, I didn't import the CSS, so import header.css. Okay, so as you can see, this is our header, and I don't like it. I don't like the padding, so I'm coming back to the app.css, and I'm giving the margin, okay, padding 0 and margin. The M is not working. I hate this. Margin 0. And let me just copy both of this, and let's just do it again for the HTML because apparently it didn't work for the app. So why is it not working? Where is this padding coming from? Let's see. Yeah, it's coming from the HTML, right? No. Is it coming from the root? Let's see. Interesting. I'll deal with this later. Let's see it here. Okay, we have it working, the header. I'm gonna change the color to transparent, and let me just display flex. I'm going to push everything to the right, so justify content end, and no, right, and let me align items and flex end. Okay, no, this isn't working. I'm gonna justify content flex end. Yeah, now it's working. Okay, and I'm not gonna align items like this. I'm gonna let it up there, and I'm gonna add a padding of like 20 pixels, and padding right of 20 pixels. And let's see, they need to be structured in a way where they're in the same plane. So let's come here. Okay, they're in the same plane, and I'm also going to work on the square. It's just gonna be like a width of 20 pixels, height of 20 pixels, and I'm gonna make the background color black. Okay, now we have a square, and let me make the profile pic container, and let me give it a width of 40 pixels and a height of 40 pixels. And let's try to make the border radius into like, I don't know, 40%, something like that. So it looks like a circle. Oh, I didn't give it a background color. Let's make it coral. Okay, we need to increase the border radius. Let me give it a 80%. Yeah, now it's a circle. So we need to align everything, right? So let's take a look at what the header div currently looks like. So as you can see, everything is inside of the div, but for some reason they're not correctly aligned. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the height to like 50, and I'm going to add some align items as center. And you guys are going to see that now they're perfectly aligned. I'm also going to add some space between them. So let me just grab everything inside of the header. So header A and header div, and I'm gonna add a margin to every single one of them of like 5 pixels. Yeah, okay, now let's change the link to kind of like look like this link. Let me just see what color they're using. I know it's black, but I want to get it perfectly, so I'm using this extension called, I think I forgot the name, but it's just a color picker for the screen. So let's see. Okay, here. This is the color. So color. Wait. Here. This is the color. Let me see what font they're using. It looks. Oh wait. It looks pretty normal. It's Arial. Yeah. So I'm just gonna copy this. Font family Arial. Let me go here. Font family Arial and sans serif. Okay. Okay. Let me erase this. Starting to look kind of normal. Let's go to the header and let's save it. Now it looks pretty good. Let me remove every single text decoration. None. Okay. Okay. Kind of looks good. I don't like the profile pic. I don't think it's perfectly aligned. I need to put some more margin to each element in the header. Now it kind of looks okay. I'm gonna decrease the size of the profile pic because it's kind of big. I'm gonna make it into 30 by 30. Yeah, kind of looks good. I'm also gonna put the same color. So let me see, pick color from page, and okay. Okay, it looks good. It looks good. So now that we finished the header, we're gonna make the main part, and I'm still debating whether I should make this thing into an image, which probably is what I should do. So yeah, I'm gonna create an image folder, images, and I'm gonna just copy and paste this Google thing over here and rename it to Google logo. Okay. So inside of the app, I'm gonna create another layout component, which is going to be main body.js, and I'm also gonna create a CSS for it. So main body.css, and let's just start working on them. Let me remove the headers and RFC. Okay, main body.js. We're gonna import the CSS. Import main body.css. Okay, and let's give it a class name of body. And let's get the class name, and let's just, for now, add some color to it. So I'm gonna add a crimson, and also width of 100% and height of like 80%, something like that. 80%. Let's see how it looks. Okay, it's not appearing. Let's see why. Oh, I'm not calling the main body instead of app. So here, main body. Okay, it should work now, but it's not. Let's see why. Okay, body, div, app. Body is here, but it's not working for some reason. I'm gonna use some different units of measurement. So instead of percent, I'm using VW, and height, I'm gonna use 800 pixels to see if this is the problem. Yeah, that's the problem. Okay. Here, I'm gonna try to change this to percent again and see if something happens, if it works. Yeah, it's still working, but it's kind of like over the limit, so I'm gonna decrease it a bit. So okay, so it's working now. Basically, I just went to the app CSS and I changed the width from the root. This is what was causing the problem. So I just add a max width of 100 VW, and now it's working. So I'm gonna remove the color from here, and let's probably add the image. So let's see, image the src is going to be the path for the image. Let me edit this. So import logo, import logo from, where's the path? It's outside of this, so inside of images, and the name is Google logo.css, no, .png. Okay, so let's put a logo here and let's see what it looks like. Okay, it's too big. Let me see what's the size of this logo, of this image, sorry. It has a height of 92 and a width of 272. So height equals 92 and width equals 272. Let's see how it looks now. Okay, perfect. But we want to put this in the middle, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some flags. So display flags and align items center. Wait, justify center. Okay. I'm also gonna grab this image, so let me give it an ID of logo, and let's come here and say logo margin bottom 50 pixels. So let's see how it looks. A bit more, so 100 pixels. Let's try 150. Let's see if it's perfect. It's not perfect. It needs to go a lot higher. So 300 pixels. Okay, that kind of looks all right. So I'm gonna add the search bar now. So main body. Let's come here and add an input of type text and ID of search. And let's see. Okay. Let's bring it to it's on the middle. Let's see what's happening. Okay, yeah, because the flex direction is wrong. So let me see. Flex direction. We need to put columns, so they will be like on top of each other. And let's see why it's so far away. Because I made the logo too high. So I use margin bottom. I know what I'm gonna do now. Basically, it's on the bottom, right? So I'm gonna add a wrapper, like a div, with a class name of body wrapper. And what it's gonna do is it's basically going to contain everything inside of everything in the middle of the screen. So let's get a body wrapper and let's give it some flags. So display flags, and the same thing we did up here. So basically just copy and paste this. And now we can individually style it inside of the wrapper, so that we can just add a margin bottom of 300 pixels and they'll still be stuck together. So I'm going to body wrapper input or just search. I think I gave it a name of search, right? Yeah, search. And inside of here, I'm adding a margin top of 50 pixels, right? Let's see how it looks. I'm actually gonna bring this here so I can see every single change happening. So it's kind of okay. I'm gonna style the input, so width of about 200 pixels, a little bit more. Let's see, 250, right? 250 and a height of 100. pixels. No, it's too much. 60 pixels. That's almost okay. I'm giving it 50. And I think it's a lot bigger than the logo. So let's make this 400 pixels. 450. Yeah. And now let's give it the border radius of like, it's pretty huge. You can see that like it's almost circular. So let's give it a border radius of like 60%. No, that's absurdly too much. Wait, I'm not gonna give it in percentages. Let me see, 20 pixels. Okay, a bit less, so 15 pixels. 15 pixels. A bit more. I'm gonna 25 pixels. Okay, that looks good. Border none, because I don't want to have the I don't want to use the built-in border, so I'm gonna make my own one. So border 2 pixels, solid, and I think it's kind of like a dark gray. Let me see if the color looks good. Yeah, it kind of, and it's also 1 pixel probably. So yeah, I think it's looking pretty good. Let me see. They have a small icon. Let me see if this is an image. This is probably an image, right? Let me see. It can be an SVG. Yeah, it's an SVG, but I can just copy the SVG probably. Actually, I'm not gonna do it because they have their built-in, like they make changes to it, so it won't matter that much. And what I'm thinking now is I'm gonna add the search button, but before it, I'm gonna try to add some hover. So hover. Let's see how it will look. Whenever we hover the input, what happens is there's like a box shadow. So box shadow of like 2 pixels, 2 pixels, 10 pixels, and black. Let's see if it looks good. No, it's a bit less. 1 pixel, 1 pixel. It's a bit too much. Let me see. Let me change this to 6. Okay, and actually I'm gonna put dark gray here. Okay, yeah, it's looking pretty good. Now we're gonna add the icon for this, the search thing. So I'm gonna use React icons because I've used it before. I don't remember if it's that good, but it worked. So I'm just gonna copy and paste the npm install React icons, and let's do it. Okay. In the meantime, I'm gonna get the icon I'm gonna use. So I'm thinking the one that looks the most is probably the FA search. So, and let me see how React icons work. You import it, and okay, it installed. Okay, let's go up here, and I'm gonna import this name and say it from React icons /FA. And then we just call the component. Yeah. Okay. Let's see it here. We're gonna put it on the inside of the input. So how are we going to make this work? Maybe we can make the input be transparent and put a div to kind of like represent the input. This might work. So ID search, and I'm gonna just copy and paste everything I did for the input inside, like change it, and instead of being for the input, it's gonna be for the div above the input. And up here, I'm gonna call the FA search. So let's see. Yeah, it works. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove this ID, and I'm gonna come to the main body. I'm going to make the input in the body wrapper input be actually 100%, have a width of 100%. so 100%, and a height of like 100% as well. But it's, and we're also gonna give a display flex for the search, right? So display flex, and the flex direction to be row instead of columns. So they're next to each other. I'm gonna make the input 90% actually. Let me see how it looks. And I'm gonna make it completely transparent. So border or none, and I wanna change it so that whenever I click on it, nothing happens. So input focus outline none. So let's see. You can see that when I click on it, it basically doesn't show anything, but I can kind of see the background. So I'm gonna add a transparent background to it. So yeah, now you can see that the input is working, but we need to put this icon a bit below. So let me give it an ID of a search icon, and let me grab it. So body wrapper search icon, and I'm margin top. Let's try 50 pixels. If that's too much, so 20 pixels. 30 pixels, like 10 pixels. Let me see how I can do it more efficiently. I'm gonna try to center, align item center, and remove this margin top. Justify content center. Yeah, now it's working. Also, I want to add a padding, so padding of 5 pixels to everything. Okay, it's starting to look a bit better. I'm increasing the padding to 7, and now it looks kind of big, like kind of large. So I'm just adding a padding left to 7 pixels. Yeah, okay. And I'm adding a margin left in the input, margin left to be 5 pixels. Okay, you can basically search. I think it's looking pretty good, honestly. Okay, yeah, I think it's looking pretty good. Let's look at the thing. It's not gonna be perfect, but I think it's okay. We need to add the 2 buttons down here. So main body, I'm going to add a container for the buttons. So class name buttons container, and I'm gonna add both of them. So Google search, and let me see. I'm feeling lucky. So they're inside of the input. Why is it happening? Because I accidentally put them inside of the other div. So it should be inside of the body wrapper, but not inside of the search. So let's see. Yeah. And I'm also going to add this thing where it basically says that that Google is offered in a different language. I don't know if that's really important, but I'm just gonna put it here. So it's a link, and let me give an href of nothing. Okay, and then I'm gonna put a margin top, the buttons container, right? So I'm coming here and I'm going to call the body wrapper and the buttons container, and a margin top of like 50 pixels, and also a padding of 20 pixels. Okay, that's too far away, right? So margin top of 30 pixels, right? Yeah, I think so. A bit less. So 25. And then inside of this, I'm gonna grab every single button inside of it, so button, and I'm adding a margin of 15 pixels. So it's kind of like separated, but I think I made it too separated, so 8 pixels. Yeah, so now I'm gonna edit like all the buttons. I wanna make it look as much as the Google button as I can, so I think this width is about like 100 pixels. I don't know. Yeah, a bit more, like 120. The height is going to be 60 pixels. No, that's too much. So 40 pixels. Yeah, I'm gonna add a border none. And the background color, I'm just gonna straight up copy the background color from Google, pick from color page here. And oh, it was just white. No, this is wrong. Wait. Pick from color. It should be this. Yeah. Okay. It's looking pretty good. I'm gonna add some border radius. So border radius of like 10 pixels. Okay, a bit less, so 8 pixels, 7 pixels. Okay, and I'm gonna add some hover on top of it. So hover. On the hover, I think I'm going to just change the cursor to pointer, and let me see what else. They also put a bit of a shadow and a border, so box shadow. I'm gonna give like a very, very subtle shadow, like 4 pixels and gray. Let's see how it looks. It's kind of too much, right? Yeah. 1 pixel. It's still too much. And I'm gonna make this a white smoke, so it's almost like undetectable. Yeah. And the border to be 1 pixel, solid, and dark gray. Okay, yeah, it's looking pretty good. It kind of looks like Google, but let's see what else we can put. We need to put a footer like with this kind of stuff, you know? So I'm coming back here and I'm gonna create another page for the layout. This is going to be called footer.js. This isn't really important, but I want to make it as similar as I can. So if you guys want to just like end the video right here, you can, because it's already looking kind of like Google, you know? So let's make a class name called footer. Let's import the CSS, so footer.css, and let's see what we can do. We need to put this at the bottom, so we need to go to the app.js and get this, and let's try to edit some stuff. So I'm gonna remove the main body stuff and the header, and I'm gonna come to footer.css and call footer and give it a width of 100% and a height of whatever is left, so auto, right? So background color, so we can see, let's use a background color of green. Actually, let's give it a pixels, 50 pixels. Why is it not working? Let's see. Inspect footer. It has all properties of it. Oh, it's down here. Oh, okay, makes sense. I'm actually calling it on top of the main body.js because I gave it a height of 800 pixels. I'm gonna decrease this to 600 pixels, and no, 700 pixels, 750, maybe 740. This isn't completely responsive, like at all. It's not mobile friendly. I think it works like you can see that I try to use relative units of measurements as much as I could do, but since this is like a coding challenge, it doesn't really matter. Actually, let me give this, because for Google the footer is kind of huge, so I'm gonna make this actually 720 and increase the footer. Let me see, 710. Yeah, 710. Now go to the footer and make this auto. No, let me make this whatever is left, so 60 pixels. No, 80 pixels. 85 pixels. Okay, it's 86. Yeah, now it's working. It's green, so we're gonna change the color to a light gray. No, light gray. Right, so it kind of looks like it. I'm gonna add some border, like a very small border, 1 pixel solid and gray. Okay, we should pull it back 1 pixel, because now that I added a 1 pixel border, it kind of like, actually I'm gonna use calc, and I'm gonna subtract 1 pixel from it, from the side. Yeah, now it's working. Okay, so inside of here we're gonna add two things. We're gonna add the first line, which is going to be a row with the country you're in, and the bottom row with like a bunch of links. So okay, the first row is going to be a div called class name country row, and then we're gonna have another div called info row, and let me give it a flex, so display play flex, and flex direction column, right? Let me see, and I'm gonna add the styling, so it's country row and info row. So let me see, background color pink and background color, I don't know, Indian red. Let's see how it looks. Oh, I didn't give a size. So width 100% and height, I'm gonna use flex. So flex of 50%, right? So I'm using this for both. Let me see if it works. Okay, yeah, you guys can see that it works. It's like each row is filling up 50% of the screen, and it's working. So I'm gonna remove the colors, and on the country row, I'm gonna add a bottom, like a border bottom of 1 pixel solid and light gray. Let me see if it works. What happened? Okay, it didn't fill in the row. Oh, because I think I'm using the color, right? So gray, yeah, you can see. I don't think this is, yeah, this isn't the same color, so I'm just gonna pick this color right here, and I'm gonna actually use this color for everything. So yeah, now it's perfect. And let me grab the color. I want to see if I can grab the color for the border. I think it's correct. Let me see. No, it's the same color. But to be honest, I think that this is actually light gray. Probably. Let me see. Yeah, it's right. So yeah, it's perfect. Right here, I'm gonna add a Brazil, like a country. It doesn't really matter. It's a link which has a country name and an href. I'm gonna send this person to Brazil. Okay, but it's aligned, so I'm gonna edit this to be align items, flex start. Oh, I didn't add a flex, so display flex So it won't even matter that much, right? So I'm gonna add align items to be center, and let's add some padding to this. So padding left, 10 pixels. Okay, it kind of looks good. No, a little bit more. So 20 pixels, and I'm also going to make this font a little bit better. Font size of 20 pixels. Let's see. Okay, font weight of like 500, a little bit less, so 400, and let me decrease this to 17 pixels. Yeah, now it's looking pretty good, I think. Now the thing is, you can see with the Google, the final thing we need to do is divide the bottom div into two parts, because you can see there's two columns. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the info row, and we're gonna divide it into the left column, so class name left col, and the right column, so here, right col. And to do this, I'm gonna basically add another flex inside of the info row, and flex direction, I'm gonna make it into a row. So down here, I'm gonna call left col, and give it a flex of 50%. And I'm going to do the same for the right column, and you guys are going to see that it will fit perfectly. So let me see, background color, just so you guys can see it, light sea green, so background color, lime. Yeah, let's see it. Yeah, perfectly. Now there's two screens, but for some reason something is popping out right here. Let me see what it is. What is it? It's the country row. Why is it popping out? Let me see. Country row. Oh, because I added a padding. So let me actually, what should I do? I'm going to decrease this by calc minus 20 pixels. Is that gonna work? It did work. So yeah, it's working now. So let me remove the background colors. We gotta basically add the links. Let me see what links we need to add. We need to add advertising, business, and about. Let me see. Advertising, and let me add it an href, so ads, and I'm gonna copy and paste this. Advertising, business, about, and then something else. How search works. Business, about, how searching works. Okay, and let's look at it. Currently, it's definitely not good because we didn't add anything. So in the left column, we're gonna add a flex, and we're gonna align item center. I'm basically gonna use the same thing I used up here. So yeah, and now we're gonna add a margin to every single link. So left col A, and the margin is gonna be a margin left of like 10 pixels. Let's see how it works. Yeah, it looks pretty good. But I don't want to add the margin left to the first element. So actually I'm gonna remove the padding and give it like a 5 pixels. Yeah, okay. I think my fonts are pretty big compared to there, so I'm gonna decrease this to like 14. Yeah, now it's looking better. And we're gonna work with the second column, which is privacy, terms, and settings, right? So let's do this. Privacy, here. Privacy search and terms and settings. But instead of just copy and pasting this, which we're kind of doing it, we're going to instead of setting the items to the left, we're gonna set the items to the right. So I'm not gonna add a padding left, I'm gonna add a padding right. And I'm going to make the justify content to flex end, which will make everything go to the right. So yeah, and I'm gonna add a margin for every link. So right call of 10 pixels. Yeah. Oh, I wrote terms wrong. Okay. So I think this is it, guys. I think it works. Like, I think it looks pretty good. I can make this better actually. Let me change the main body.css and make everything be just 20 to 100 pixels. Actually a bit less, 150 pixels. And okay. And also let me increase the search bar a bit. So with 500 pixels, right? 550 pixels. Wait, pixels. Okay, yeah. Now I think it looks pretty good. I think this video took up, like, I think it's pretty long, which I don't like it that way. I prefer it to be a little bit shorter, but this is what I could do in like 20 minutes or something. So I'm gonna be making more coding challenges. I know this one was just UI based, but if you guys want, again, I can make a functionality type of Google. I can add the searching, I can add the button clicks, whatever you guys want, just comment down below so I can see it. And I hope you guys enjoyed it and learned a bit. So I see you guys later.